Our system adds a whole range of things that can go wrong with your weapon and your kits and all that kind of stuff as well. So that mod I was telling you about called Ace,
Yeah.
there's two keybinds for that you're going to need to know. One of them will interact on you, and one of them will interact on someone else. Okay. So if you look at me and you hold left Windows key, you're going to see a bunch of options pop up around me
Yeah.
when you're holding Windows key. That's how you're going to interact on me, for example, all right? So if you can find the one that says interactions, it's usually down like near your stomach area, near my
Yeah.
stomach, you'll see interactions. If you hover over that, you're going to see join group and then medical menu. So if we ask you to join our group, you're going to interact on us, go to interactions and hit the join group button. And then what to do is you mouse over the mouse over the option you want, such
Yeah.
as join group, and then release the Windows key,
Like that.
and that selects your options. Okay. The other keybind is to interact on yourself is left control, left Windows. That opens up your menu. It
Yeah.
says self actions there.
Yeah.
Now, these ones like gestures, you can ignore gestures.
Yeah.
You can ignore medical, and you can ignore, well, that's the only ones. Medical and gestures, ignore those. Medical menu, you can keep an eye on, but there's a keybind for that, so you don't have to worry. So the only real important ones for you are equipment and team management, okay? Now, team management, if we ask you, for example, hey, Sonny, your weapons team switched to red, then you would go into team management, go over join red, and hit and then release the key once you're
Yeah.
over red. So if you want to do that for me and just switch over to red, so I know you've kind of got the gist of it.
Yeah, I did it.
Perfect. All right, I'm gonna just make sure I'm jumping in your squad here. Do you want to join my squad actually, just so I can see that you're red? So that's just holding Windows on me. Nice one.
Yeah.
All right, it will need you to switch to red again since you've joined the squad. It'll remove your color. So if you switch to red again for me. There we go. Let's fill it blue.
Yep.
You're red. Okay, so now if you look at the bottom of your screen, you're going to see the names next to the little compass. You'll see our
Yeah.
names in different colors. And our hexagons, when we go into battle, will be different colors as well.
Mm.
Now, if you self-interact on yourself, there's going to be an option called equipment. All right, that's where you're going to see a lot of like the options that you can do with yourself in the equipment tab. Now, earplugs are really important because there is combat deafness in this. So if a 50 caliber is firing near you, you'll start to go deaf. All right, you'll lose your hearing. If an explosion goes off, you might lose your hearing. Grenades, even large light machine guns firing it constantly next to you, you'll start to hear your ears start to ring, and then after a while your audio will cut out and you'll be deaf. And if it gets to super bad levels, you might actually just fully lose your hearing, and then that's you kind of done for that entire op of just no hearing. Okay, so make sure those earplugs are always in, because not only do you stop hearing audio, you'll stop hearing us talking to you as well. So combat deafness is a problem. You'll find that when an explosion goes off, the people that run around like headless chickens and you're trying to shout at them and they're not answering, it's because they're deaf. They can't hear what's going on. So earplugs in all the time. Chem lights are just for throwing down chem lights or preparing your chem light shield. We'll go over that later. If in an operation we are asked by a squadron to attach strobes to ourselves, that's obviously the attach item, and then IR strobes. If you have those in your kit, you'll see those in there. They're just strobes, like you know what those are. They just flash in night. They're just a thermal strobe. So aircraft with thermal vision and night vision can see us. Next important one is check weapon temperature. As your weapon gets hotter, your chances of the weapon breaking / jamming becomes higher. Okay, so as a light machine gun, that's pretty important because you're going to be firing off a lot of rounds. So keep an eye on that weapon temp. Don't overheat the weapon. Okay, when the weapon overheats, it'll jam, and you don't really get a warning when it jams apart from it won't fire. All right,
Yeah.
so the way to unjam your weapon, there's two keybinds to check and unjam weapons. Is Shift R will do I think it's a unjam.
No.
Yeah, Shift R is unjam. So it looks like a reload animation, but it's unjamming your weapon.
Okay.
And then at the top right, you'll see you can't see how much ammo you have in your magazine. You can see how many mags you have, but you can't see the ammo capacity left. That's left control and R. Press that, and a little icon at the top right will pop up, and it has a magazine with like color bars. Tells you how much ammo you have left. So genuinely keep an eye on your overheat. Some weapons overheat quicker, some have more jam possibilities, some are really sturdy and won't jam that often. But when it does jam, the more likely you find a lot of people that are new to milsims, they don't even realize they're not firing. they're still hitting the key, thinking they're shooting, but they can't hear the jamming because there's bullets going off around them. So someone's like, dude, someone's got a fucking jam. Like, so keep an eye on it. If it does get hot, it will jam. And it doesn't tell you, you'll just hear a click, almost as if you're out of ammo. You'll hear that noise. Reloading the weapon on a jam will not fix it. Okay, so if you think you're empty and then you reload a magazine, you're still going to hear a click when you fire again because your weapon's jammed. That's pretty much all you need to know in the actions menu, is just how to interact with yourself, how to interact with other people.
One more thing, swap barrels for LMG.
Oh yeah, you want to teach them that, however?
Basically, you have one or more spare barrels in your kit, and when you have it with your Ace Self interaction equipment, you have one more option, swap a barrel if you check it. And if you do it, you will swap your barrel for a different one which is spare, and if your gun barrel is overheated, you can swap to cool one, so your gun is again cool.
Yeah, you can effectively melt your barrel, so once it gets hot, switch the barrel out to a cool one, and then use that one. So yeah, just trying to keep... It's only LMGs that can switch that out, so...
Yeah. It's not a problem with when you are firing without silencer, but with silencer, after 1 or maybe 1.5 belts, it's like 300 rounds, your gun will overheat and it will shut down after like each 10 shots.
Yeah, it's not... Be aware, obviously, when you clear a jam in your weapon, if your weapon's still red hot, it might fire 1 to 10 rounds, then jam again. Okay. So you're pretty ineffective if your weapon's super hot and you're just jamming all the time. So allow that weapon to cool down if it starts getting too hot, or switch your barrels out or whatever for LMGs. That's the interactions menu, self interactions. You remember all the keybinds, that's fine. Do you remember the keybind for the radio?
No, not really.
Left control P.
Left control P, okay.
There's a lot to remember.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the fucking paper somewhere. Wait a sec.
Yeah, no worries. A lot of people write it down. Right. So you know how to interact on me, you know how to interact on yourself, you know how to unjam and check ammo, you know how to change... Oh, there's another one actually, is change your speaking distance is left control and tab. That changes your speaking distance. That. You know, obviously, about overheating your weapon, switching your barrels, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Your obvious one is the same armor keybind for your night vision. It's just N to switch to night vision. Now, it's going to blind you for a second, but if you turn your night vision on real quick...
What's the key, did you say?
That's right. N for night vision. November.
Okay.
Same as armor.
Yeah.
Alright, if you turn your night vision on real quick, it's going to blind you. But the keybind for changing the brightness of this is left alt and page down and up. Page up and down will change the brightness of your night vision. Alright, so that's a handy one to have. If it's slightly too dark, or it's slightly, it's getting morning but still need night vision, you can lower the brightness down. That's a handy keybind to know.
Yep.
Yeah, don't worry, you don't have to blind yourself anymore, you can take the night vision off. Obviously, same keybind for map as armor anyways, as M for your map. All the keybinds for basic armor still apply. R for reload, F for switch your fire type, that kind of stuff. All the same. Does he have smokes in his kit?
Yes, he does.
Okay. Do you know the keybind for switching between smokes? No?
No.
Okay. If you left control and G, just make sure you're holding left control when you do this. If you hit G, you'll throw the smoke. So yeah, left control and G will switch between your different colors of smoke.
Yeah.
They're all used for different things. So don't if we say, all right, let's get covering smoke, don't chuck a blue one, because that's not the right type of smoke. So we'll go over what smokes do what and things like that. A handy thing to know, actually, if you come over to this smoke here and you use the interactions key, so the your Windows key on it, you'll find it says pick up somewhere. If you can find the canister of smoke in there, if you hold Windows key, find the pickup option. By looking at the ground, it's right in front of me here. Yeah, if you mouse over it, release the Windows key, you'll pick up that smoke.
Yeah.
You can then throw it away by just clicking.
Okay.
There you go. So that's a handy thing to know. If enemy smokes get thrown at you, you can pick them up and throw them away.
Okay.
Another useful key for it's not in armor, it's just a modded thing. If you press Shift and G, you're going to get a throwing arc for your smoke. So you can kind of decide how far you want to throw it. I don't know if your scroll wheel works, but if you roll your scroll
Yeah.
wheel, you get a different type of throwing arc. But I don't know if that works for you. And
Yeah,
then
it works.
then right clicking is to cancel, obviously, just to get out of the out of that menu. That scope has different attachments, doesn't it? Yeah. Do you know how to switch between attachments, like scopes variants?
I can't remember the rest of it.
If you're using the scope at the time, sort of if you're looking in the scope,
Yeah.
if you press left control and right click at the same time, it will switch between a different version of that scope.
Left
You'll
control?
go from left control and right click at the same time. That working for you?
No.
Try and hit the slash key on the numpad. See if that switches them.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that key will switch between your red dot and your scope, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's basic Arma keybinds. That's your interactions menu done. The next one is probably your medical menu. This is where stuff gets a little bit confusing. Enhanced movement, actually, that's a good idea. We'll set that up now. The unit has a thing that Arma doesn't, and it's called enhanced movement, and it allows us to climb on things. So, for example, this tent here, what you would do is, for us, we can come up to it and we can actually climb the tent.
Yep.
So, you'll need to set that keybind up. It doesn't come on by default. So what you want to do is, if you press escape for me, go to configure, go to controls,
Mhm.
and then in that drop down section near the bottom, you're going to see custom controls.
Yeah.
Set the use action 1 key as space,
Okay, yeah.
and then click OK, continue, and come back out. And then if you come over here and look up to the tent and press space, you should climb it. There you go. That's used for jumping over walls and fences and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Quicker way than doing Arma's vault thing. The pressing V to vault shit.
Yeah.
It's easier than that.